Previously on Danganronpa V2 New World Order. Groot? So about Groot. Free time. Right. That realistically should be everyone from like the first one. I don't know if there's a second one, there might be, but let's continue the story. Exhausted after a long day, you find yourself falling into the welcome embrace of your bed. A few minutes later... Knock knock. Knock knock. Coming! Who could it be at this hour? Is it Pierce? You open the door.
Hello there.
Oh Jesus, hello Mona. I hope we're not interrupting anything!
Daijoubu?
Aye, nothing important. Sleep, come back. We're just here to take inventory of the trinkets.
As logic dictates.
So if you would kindly present your items for inspection. This is giving me weird prison flashbacks. Okay, just a second, Nyan. You come back holding a keychain which you promptly present for inspection.
Whoa!
Well, hey! This is a super ordinary.
Nani?
Ordinary? What do you mean by that? I've seen some pretty dang weird trinkets tonight. This is probably the most ordinary.
That's so
Very
good.
fitting for a key jangling warden just as yourself. So, Deska. Key jangling warden? But Mona-chan, I think you might be mistaken. Take a look here at the grooves. You see them? Mona and Sigmund both leaned in at the same time to get a better look, and ended up knocking their heads together. Ow!
Settle down
Hey,
there.
watch it, will ya? Apologies, Mona.
What would Freud
That was
say?
very ill-conceived.
Let's get down to
I
business.
see. It's a puzzle, isn't it? She's already moved on.
That's new.
Yeah, it's a puzzle, alright. Do you think Blazy-kun would... That reminds me. In the blink of an eye, you find yourself holding a small metallic stub.
For you.
This is for you. Small metallic? Since Blaze isn't around anymore, I carved this trinket up into 15 pieces. That's your piece. I'm hoping it'll help everyone remember what he did for us. And what he did for you. Oh no. Thank you. I'll treasure it well. Whew!
Thank you very
I'm
much.
glad you didn't flip out.
Jeez.
Why would I do that? It was just a possibility I briefly considered. Don't read too much into it. And the puzzle? Did you manage to find a solution? Not as far as I can tell. I'm more of a maker than a solver. How's about you, Sigmund?
My sincerest
That sort
apologies.
of puzzle isn't exactly my forte. That's unfortunate. I shouldn't be surprised. Nothing's ever simple with the things that kill Monokuma concocts. This should be all. Thank you for your time, Natalia. We really should hurry if we're to have any hope of finishing tonight, Mona. I'm sure we'll be fine. Not everyone's gonna hold us back to brag about the size of their trophy. Oh, Zeke. Within minutes, you find yourself back in the gentle embrace of slumber. Next day at breakfast. What atrocious penmanship! Who did this?
Don't try anything
Alright,
funny.
I'm not serving breakfast until the culprit owns up. What's going on? Everyone had gathered around a large poster that had been taped to the wall. Under the heading, Acting Society, everyone's name has been hastily scrawled.
Thinking.
Ah, you thought it was Virginia being a perennial thorn in the side, but it was me all along.
Groot.
Literally no one thought that. Straining your ears, you swear you can hear someone indignantly muttering, "But I did," in the distance. We already have the club meets every week,
Have your people
so
talk
surely
to
this
my
could have been
people.
organized accordingly. I felt that this was deserving of a relative degree of urgency.
How can this happen?
Even so, this should be designated a club and treated in the same eyes of the law. Ah, I was waiting for someone
What
to
a
say that.
pleasant surprise.
In preparation, I made sure I received some legal advice ahead of time. Legal advice? Ahem!
Attention,
In my
please.
learned opinion, the law would view clubs and societies as separate legal entities. Therefore, a society would not necessarily be bound by the same rules as those designated to a club. You do realize that laws have no authority if they can't be enforced. What would you do if we simply ignored you? Damn, she's good. Real good. Ah, Florence.
What would Freud
Do you not
say?
think this group is lacking in a finer appreciation of the
How
arts?
enlightening.
As the candidate of the arts, surely you would be in agreement. Admittedly, there is a grain of truth to what you say, but I still think it's impertinent to impose something like this onto everyone else,
How petty.
especially without asking first.
Interesting.
That's astonishingly reasonable of you, Florence.
Are you
Are you implying I'm
underestimating
usually
me?
unreasonable? I suggest you watch what you say.
Groot.
Groot, I knew she was going to say that. Florence raises a valid point. Why not simply ask everyone to join the club?
Presenting logic.
Is it not standard human convention to ask for permission before involving others in your interests? Mii-Yu's right.
Right.
Why not ask us, Siki? I think your reaction just proved my assumptions correct. Under ordinary circumstances, a clear majority of you would have simply refused. But thankfully, I have contingency.
As logic dictates.
Better yet, a compromise.
Don't you start.
I don't like the sound of this. Let us hold an anonymous ballot. He handed out 2 slips of paper to everyone before retreating to his seat and pulling out a hat. Here's the question. Should we form an acting society? Vote yes or no by putting the corresponding slip into the hat. If there are more yes votes than no votes, we'll count it as a separate entity to a club.
This is but
And
a
if not, I
social
shall suspend
construct.
all further attempts to impose my will onto the group in such a way. Fine, but Sir better not be rigging it. Cross my heart. So Sigmund was worried that his proposal would be rejected without an anonymous ballot. He even went as far as to prepare such a ballot. Can this really be written off as artistic appreciation? There must be something driving this sudden compulsion. There was a slight shuffle of activities. The voting took place. I believe an independent party should declare the result. What say you, Levitica? You wish for me to deliver the verdict rendered by the goddess of law herself?
How mysterious.
I can think of no higher honor. Very well. She started pulling slips out of the hat, lightly tapping her feet in accordance with the voting patterns.
Allow me to summarize.
The goddess's will as thus. Effective immediately.
This is the will
Thou
of the
shalt
gods.
participate in acting classes.
What a pleasant surprise.
Ah, what a pleasant surprise. So the vote passed after all. Alright, who voted yes? Let's see some hands. In response, one hand shot straight up.
Wow.
Wow, Mii-Yu. How bravely honest of you. It was a response to a simple request.
I hope that
Am
this
I
is okay.
misreading the situation? And anyone else? No one else raised their hands. Very well, sirs and ma'ams.
Much appreciated.
I applaud Madame Robot for her honesty. That is all. And I'll bet this has nothing to do with her coffee-making abilities. Now for the next order of business, it's time to designate plays. Not that type, Zeke.
How
The boring
unsightly.
kind. You spend the rest of the morning getting into groups and learning some lines. What are we doing? I don't understand. And after lunch... Okay. Time for take 2.
We haven't got all
Someone
day.
else can call the shots today.
This is the will of the gods.
Everyone, the Whispers have bestowed unto me a proposal. Right now there is no reasoning behind our use of this room, but should we not be using it for its intended purpose? That is to identify information about our situation,
Soft time.
and about this traitor that is supposedly concealed amongst us.
What's your condition?
And how do you suggest we go about doing that?
Do you hear
We
it?
need a system founded on reason, not willful ignorance. A most trivial matter to resolve. The room offers a glimpse into an individual's unconscious, does it not? This includes the aspect of themselves that they do not wish others to see. So is it not reasonable that we use the room's function to expose this traitor? If that Satan-spawned bear is not lying about the way this room works,
I shall cleanse
then
these
even the traitor could have their
inheritance.
true intentions exposed in this room. Exposed. Sure, Kilmore values the appearance of justice above all else. Monokuma, rather, values the appearance of justice above all else. But would he really give us such an easy means of attaining the truth?
Please.
You're saying we should identify the people we suspect of being the traitor, and put them in first?
For the great
If that's the
British
case,
Empire.
then I, for one, have nothing to hide. Then let us assume that we identify the traitor.
What flawed
What
logic.
if, like a certain someone, we simply find out an embarrassing phase in their life? That would hardly be incriminating. The nature of these rooms is not something that can be readily mitigated. So I stand with Levitica. Her reasoning is all we have to work with right now. It's not much, but it's certainly better than nothing.
Scanning.
Since Zeke started from the leftmost room, why don't we keep it simple, and move rightwards each day, one door at a time? In the absence of any verifiable information about the contents of each room, I think this is the best we can do. And if push comes to shove, we can come up with a system after we've gone into each room at least once. Thanks to Zeke, we know that the leftmost room has a theme along the lines of embarrassing memories. Ugh. I am glad the flock is in agreement. To summarize, we shall be using this motive to seek out the traitor one room at a time. It stands to reason that the traitor will be at their most vulnerable if they are subject to the right type of room. We just need to ensure that this happens.
Whispers, God.
Are there any dissenting voices? No one spoke up. It seems like a reasonable plan on the surface, at least.
Jeez.
I only wish I knew more about exactly how the room works. Now, how would we even start?
Let's see some push-ups.
Nobody's behaving suspiciously at all. You mean you can't think of any suspects?
What a
I, for
typical
one, can name
dumbo.
at least 5 potential people.
Why?
Do you really trust us that little, Florence?
Please,
That was
excuse my
dubiously
phrasing.
phrased. I meant to say that there are at least 5 people here who, if they turned out to be the traitor, would not surprise me in the least. That's not much better. Am I one of them, Florence? A suspect?
Please, tell me
Am I one of
more.
the suspects you have in mind?
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, that isn't information I can simply give away.
Scanning.
I understand, but I'm certain that at least a few of you view me as a strong suspect. And that's following an optimistic assessment of the situation. Mii-Yu, that is to say, most of us. I appreciate what I think you're trying to do, Grace, but this is for everyone's
I hope
benefit.
that this is okay.
I know that societal convention would ordinarily make it uncomfortable, even impossible, to point something like this out, but I want you all to know that I understand. I'm different. I have been since the start, and I feel I'm no closer to finding out more about myself than I was at the very beginning. This not only could clear my name, but it could also... Please, just this once.
If you would allow me to interject.
I ask that you all indulge me in my selfishness. Comrade Robo-Girl.
Initiating
But
mind
do
contact.
robots even have an unconscious mind? It seems we're about to find out.
What a scoop.
I, for one, cannot wait to see what the result of this is. Well, it seems you have our blessing.
How enlightening.
Tacitly, at least. Then, I won't waste any more time. She began to walk the length of the room to the direction of the door that stood second from the left. Wordlessly, everyone followed closely from behind. Within seconds of entering the room, like yesterday, the world swirled listlessly until... Huh? It couldn't be. Not again. Oh no, the flight? Flight 11037? I don't understand. There's no mistaking it. It's the wreckage of the downed Lucinda Airways plane.
Can't say I like this.
Any journalist would be able to recognize it right away. Not just journalists.
This isn't right.
Almost anyone would be able to recognize this. But something feels off. Oh?
Sorry.
I'll let you guys know if it hits me. I feel like Elisa is onto something here. Something that's also at the tip of my head. Think, Matt, think! Okay, let's all rationally consider this.
Let's do it together.
Why would the bicameral room appear like this for Mii-Yu? Could it not simply be that Leviticus' suggestion is working as intended?
What would
And that the
Freud
truth
say?
has been exposed? At best, we know she is related to the bombing incident. And at worst, she may have orchestrated it herself. No!
This isn't
There must be
hopeless.
another explanation for this, right, Mii-Yu?
Where's the
It
logic
seems
in
she's
this?
lost the will to defend herself. She doesn't need to defend herself!
I can't
There are
accept
other
this.
explanations for her room being this way. Like,
Everyone.
maybe she was on the plane when it crashed. Me and my big mouth. On the plane?
Objection.
But she's standing right here in perfect working order. You're like the witness I called to testify about the brain in the jar.
Very good, sir.
Sir makes a valid assertion. How could she have been on the plane if everyone on board perished? Are you perhaps suggesting she was found, then reconstructed? Perhaps. That was,
I'm sorry for that.
just detective's intuition
Seriously.
speaking, Nyan. But now that you've broached the topic,
The
I'm eager
possibilities
to
are
hear more about
endless.
this detective's intuition.
Leave it to me.
Okay, Nat, you've got this. I think in a weird way what this image is trying to tell us is that not everyone on board died. At least, not right away.
That shouldn't
You're gonna have to run that by us again. Look at the way it's positioned! This exact picture would be meaningless unless you were there at the scene! I got it! This wasn't the picture as it was published in the papers!
This just in.
The press was given something else to work with! A picture taken from a different angle! Is there a possibility you're simply mistaken, Elisa?
This isn't right.
Not a chance. I'll back her up on this. And me too. But how do you know so much about the incident, Natalia? Did you do some investigating of your own while you were at Terminus? That's correct. Even though I was only there as an executioner and not an investigator, I was still granted provisional access to the crash site. And what of your findings?
Leave it to me.
I'll try and simplify my logic. To the untrained eye, this is simply another reconstruction of the downed Lucinda Airways plane. as far as wreckages go, it's pretty distinct. However, to be able to make this particular reconstruction in such clear detail, there's no question about it. You must have been at the scene itself. This would have been impossible for someone who simply took a cursory glance at a newspaper. But at the same time, the passengers would not have been able to see the outside of the plane as it appears here, assuming they died instantly. And was it not possible to simply sneak up to the crime scene after the fact? That's a negative. The scene was cordoned off and heavily guarded from the moment it was discovered. Wow. You're so much more serious when you're not speaking like a...
Not like this.
I said nothing! Indeed. I am no longer surprised you're related to that ultimate detective.
Such
It seems that dedication to
finesse.
thorough inspection runs in the family. And what do you make of this, Mii-Yu? I'm still trying to process what she just said. I don't think she's entirely correct, but she's not entirely wrong either.
Updating existing
I feel as though
data.
a few gears clicked inside me when she said that I was at the scene.
Multiple
And yet,
system
I
failures
feel as though I'm
detected.
unable to elaborate any further. What could all this mean?
Spill.
Well, gang, is it time we search for clues yet?
What a typical dumb.
Now you're interested in helping? I was always interested.
Just
kidding. Who cares if I'm not actually interested? Any help is good, right?
This is an insult.
Only when it doesn't interfere with the crime scene. It's a projection.
I trust that this is
Excuse me,
satisfactory.
ma'am, I believe we already knew that... No, like, an actual projection against the back wall.
How unsightly.
It looks like someone got very lazy this time around.
This must be
You
the
mean
work
it's
of
just
my
an
arch
image?
nemesis.
Did anyone bring a camera? If only I'd exercised the appropriate foresight.
The office is now closed.
Not to worry. The room was abruptly plunged into darkness. I found the
Not like
projector.
this.
Ah! Who turned out the
You
lights?
have got to be
Oi!
shitting me.
Keep your hands off my face! Only if you get your hands off my jacket! You're doing it on purpose.
Don't you
You're doing it on
start.
fucking purpose, aren't you? What the?
I didn't sign up for
Stop
this.
it! Over the course of an excessively lengthy minute, you find your way out of the bicameral room dazed and confused. With nothing else to do at the room, you decide to head back to the school. On the way there, over the course of an excessively lengthy minute, you will find your way out of the bicameral room dazed and confused. With nothing else to do, you decide to head back to the school. On the way there... Wait, what? Why did that loop?
Equilibrium draws closer.
Okay. Hey, Nat, do you have a moment or two?
Mommy,
What is it, Eden? What I'm about to tell you is between me and you, got
leave
it?
it to me.
Oh, confidentiality! You can count on me. A few of us have been keeping a secret from everyone else, ever since we found out about the Lucinda Airways flight.
The silence
Please don't make me regret this.
intensifies.
It's okay, Eden. You can trust little old May. That's precisely the last thing you should say if you want someone to trust you. Let's make this quick. We just need some shade, if possible. Perhaps in one of those buildings over there. You move to the darkened room. A seance? Breathing phone. Walking. Is this the same seance from chapter 1? Smash. Smoke, screaming, wind. Alarms. Okay, it is the same, because I remember what... Laughing? Okay, that's new. Pleading. Laughing and pleading is new. Bang, brightness, pain, that's what I remember. Do you want to see it again? No, thank you. Sorry, I had to wipe my monitor. This is... And you say you've been keeping this from everyone else? Aye.
Speak to me,
And with
O
Blaze and
divine
Magnus gone,
eye.
only a handful of people remain who know about the seance. But what made you show it to me, Eden? This information seems like it could be dangerous in the wrong hands. I want you to know in case something would have happened to
Don't
me.
say that.
Don't say that!
This is for
To
the
me,
best.
it's a fair precaution, you know. When we had the original seance, I felt a certain presence. Something was definitely amiss at the time. Perhaps the traitor was made aware of it, and if they weren't, maybe they found out about it since. I can't know for sure, so I'm going with my gut here. I don't think the traitor knows about the seance yet, and I don't think you're the traitor. Of course, I've already been wrong before, about going to the mansion. It turned out to be a key place, but not for the reason I had anticipated. That place was where Magnus died, and through him, Blaze. That's why I trust you now. Not only has Blaze passed the torch on to you, but I feel a connection to you on the idea of responsibility. Why blame yourself when you could be blaming the person who set the events in motion in the first place? I led them to that mansion, So that whole habit of apportioning responsibility, it just becomes an endless cycle of what about me? Figuring out who shot who in the what. Just so tiring. Even so, the mansion may have been found regardless of your intervention.
Silence
Wait, oh, wrong person, sorry. No, not config. I don't have the log anymore! Oh, I do have the log, okay. Even so, the mansion may have been found regardless of your intervention. And we weren't the first people there. Yet I can't help but feel that we only searched hard as we did because I was there, telling everyone that there was something important hidden within. But anyways, it's too early in the day to be talking about this sort of stuff. I'm sure you've got more important things to be doing. Hi!
Leave it to me!
Thank you, Eden-chan, for putting your trust in me. You can thank me by not letting me down. And Nat? Yes, Eden-chan? Actually, it's nothing.
There's no need
Don't
to
mind
worry.
me. Well, if you change your mind, you know where to find me. Of course I do. And on that note, the conversation ended. After arriving back at the school, still some time before dinner. What should I do now? Right. Last round of free time stuff, and then we're gonna stop. Oh, what? The UI updated? Oh, everyone's in new places. That's probably why. Okay. Let's do this in order again. So, Sigmund first.
Things just seem to be getting more extreme. We should be careful where we step moving forward.
Well, let's do this. Spend some time with Sigmund. Yes. Right. I'm gonna let you know this. If you slag off Mii-Yu, I'm punching you in the face.
Natalia, do you have a second?
What is it, Sigmund-kun?
I've been mulling over Kilmore's words in my head. Recall when we first assembled in the gymnasium. He told us that it would only take one to shatter our precious illusion of peace. Well, it seems he was correct all along. We're simply still in the process of seeing it.
Look, Sigmund, if you're still upset with me, that's okay.
My feelings don't matter in the slightest. At the least, you have managed to maintain my intellectual interest.
Is that all I am to you? A person who is interesting?
Like I said, it matters not. However, I'd like to trouble you with a random question, if possible.
Go for it.
The choices we make in our daily lives, how many of them do you think are truly free?
Some. To speak in absolutes about choices is just wrong. Sure, some of our choices may be outside of our control, but others clearly aren't. A lot of what happens comes about because we will it to happen, not because it was decided for us by some external force.
Did you adapt that same outlook in the trial, I wonder? No. Don't answer. It would be more stimulating to infer.
Oh, cool, nice, first try.
Do you know why I asked you, Natalia? It's because I think that life is full of illusions. One of its fundamental purposes is to deceive. What is peace if not an illusion? In many ways, philosophy is about trying to make sense of illusions that are permanently in view. We do this by creating answers, standing by them, and applying them to the world around us. Personal feelings aside, I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with the way you think.
Okay, time for the moment of truth. Hey Sigmund, I have a question to ask.
Oh?
Most assuredly. Sigmund, I was wondering if you had a spare pair of underwear lying around?
You really are
Oh
an
crap, we actually
interesting
have to
person.
ask them?
In practically every sense of the word. Yes, I most certainly do. Do you have any preferences, I wonder?
It's not what you think. Though a casual observer may have been fooled, you leave the room feeling as though an unspeakable bond had just been forged, amidst the scorching heat of intense intellectual discussion. Okay, cool, that's one down. Right, one underwear down. Right, save. Right, next is... where is Eden? She's right here, okay.
Mii-Yu, just how much could she be hiding under that cool robotic exterior of hers?
Spend some time with Eden? Sure.
Ah, Nat. You look troubled. What seems to be the matter?
Couldn't you just read my thoughts?
I'm trying to be less intrusive where possible. Tell you what, why don't we go somewhere more colorful?
Somewhere more colorful? Save. Let's do the lakeside. Lakeside's quite colorful. Let's go to the lakeside.
If that is what you prefer.
Very colourful. You walk with Eden to the lakeside.
This place. It's really peaceful, isn't it?
Hi. The only unnatural thing about it is the lack of a breeze.
I never would have noticed if you hadn't pointed it out. Now I can't stop thinking about it. Why isn't there a breeze here, I wonder?
Say, Eden, was there something you wanted to discuss?
Never mind that. Why don't we just sit back and enjoy the view while we can?
If that's what you prefer.
Echoing my own words back at me, are we?
Guilty as charged. You spend some quality time relaxing with Eden by the lake. Where it went well. Okay, that doesn't get me her underwear. The park? Oh, I got it. Let's go to the park.
You read my mind. Come on, let's go.
This is pretty colourful too. You go with Eden to the park. Seems you've chosen excellently, yes. So Eden, you said I look troubled. What did you mean by that?
You're still thinking about him, aren't you?
Of course she is.
About Blaze.
I thought you said you weren't going to read my mind.
But I didn't. It's written all over your face. I think I'm beginning to see more of what Virginia means when she says that.
I wouldn't read too much into it. It's impossible to understand what she really means half the time.
True enough.
Eden, I was just wondering, what was going through Blaze's mind during the trial? You were reading mine, weren't you? So surely that means you were reading his too.
His thoughts, a mismashing, confused web that got more and more messy as the trial went on.
Oh.
However, what I can say is that he cared for you, Natalia, deeply. His actions arose from a flawed sense of justice. But within you he saw something pure. To him, justice was defined by intent. You never intended to do wrong, hence why he never faulted you for your choices. Hurting you, doing you harm in any way, I wouldn't have been able to sense those types of thoughts even if I tried. But I don't think he was the sort of person that would have wished any degree of harm upon you.
Eden, did you seriously get all of that just from reading his mind?
I had to make a few inferences. Like I said, it wasn't easy.
Blaze.
Sometimes, people with the best of intentions commit unjust acts. It is in our nature. I've seen it many times over in my line of work. Just know that it doesn't speak to our character. This is me speaking, by the way, not Blaze, but I'm sure he knew too. Sorry that I can't offer you any more closure than this.
No, Eden. Thank you.
I think I know what else might cheer you up.
Oh? Oh, she knows that I want her underwear, goddammit.
Here you go. Hot off the presses.
I thought you said...
About that. It was written on your face too.
Liar!
And yet they're not catching fire.
Thanks again, Eden. You truly are amazing.
Hey, don't mention it. Just spread some of that goodwill around, will ya?
Cool. So a powerful bond was forged that day between a psychic with the best of intentions and a warden who saw something deeply remarkable in a newfound companion. Right. Okay. Next. Where is... Oh, the town. Where's Phoenix? Here's Phoenix. Here we go.
So many people died in that incident, and the killer still remains at large. It seems that it's all far from over.
Spend some time with Phoenix? I'm gonna get myself another snack.
Sorry. I didn't mean to think such depressing thoughts out loud. Natalia, you seem to be bleeding.
Huh? Oh, this? It's nothing, Jan.
Let's go back to my room. I should have some equipment we can use.
Daijoubu, Phoenix-kun. Seriously, it's nothing. Before you had time to react, you found yourself being dragged to Phoenix's room.
Could you pass the antiseptic?
I'm sure we don't need to go that far. He looks deadly serious. Here you go.
Okay, let's begin.
Within a minute, the wound had been cleaned and treated to an astonishingly professional degree. That's one excessively large bandage.
Sorry.
Don't apologize. You're only looking out for me, Phoenix-kun.
Natalia? I was wondering, what do you think of me?
A bit neurotic, I suppose. Nyan? I think you're quite cool, Phoenix-kun.
Has my arch nemesis sent you to infiltrate my close circle? With your feminine wiles?
My what?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to involve you in my medical work. But it looks like I'm bound to it for life.
What do you mean?
My arch nemesis. As long as they're still around, I can never leave. Not until I've made up for it.
What is he talking about?
I
know. As thanks for looking after me, why don't you let me help you with something?
Oh? Like what?
Save... that? Okay. Whoops. Let's design a burger. How do we design a burger?
You'd really do that for me?
That sounds like a car engine revving up.
I mean, what experience do you have with burgers, young Natalia?
None, actually. But I can try.
Such a can-do attitude. I like it.
Yeah, nice. You spent some time working on a burger design with Phoenix.
So the pickles go here?
Why not onions? Pickles taste too overpowering, and we have nothing else to balance out the taste.
Quite right, quite right.
More time passes as you work on perfecting the burger.
Even after all our efforts, we still have yet to beat the burger from this morning.
But at least we tried. And he didn't mention his arch nemesis the entire time.
I think we should call it a day. Unless you have something else you want to ask of me?
Okay, here goes. Phoenix-kun, would you happen to, have any spare underwear?
And why would you... Oh, I think I can guess.
What? It's nothing like that.
Nothing like what?
Nothing. It's nothing like nothing. Just give them to me.
Okay. Just relax.
You walk out of the room carrying a spotless pair of undergarments, as a proud symbol of the bond that had been formed between Doctor and Warden. God, this game. Alright. Next is Levitica. So where is she? She is?
All those lost souls from that dreadful incident. It seems their spirits have yet to find peace.
Spend some time with Levitica? Stay.
A most auspicious time for your arrival, dear lad. I was just about to leave, though it appears the destination is as yet uncertain.
Where should you go? The lakeside. Why not? Head to the lakeside. Hey, Levitica? Thank you.
Is there an explanation for this sudden display of gratitude?
I never properly thanked you for being by my side this whole time. Talking to you helped tremendously, and for that I am grateful.
There is no need. I was simply glad to be there for you, dear lamb. Until I was touched by divine grace, I too lived as a hollow vessel, the purpose which I have dedicated my whole life to searching for. I find it anew every time someone says that to me.
I hope I can return the favor someday.
Though I must confess, it is a shame you are still atheist.
Pardon?
Nothing, dear lamb. It seems the whispers have a mind of their own sometimes.
Oh, good, that was the best one, alright. Seems that went excellently. Head back after spending more time. Okay, here it comes. Levitica, please don't think of any less of me for this.
For what, dear lamb?
That is to say, do you have any spare undergarments?
There is no need to be so embarrassed. I have little need for such trivial possessions.
She walked to the drawer and returned, clutching as many as she could carry against her chest. Just one is enough, Levitica. This is about the exact opposite of how I expected her to react. And so, an even more powerful bond was forged between Missionary and Warden. And while you headed back to your room, you noticed the spoils of your labor changing color if ever so slightly. Okay. Right. Alright, sure. Whatever. Right, Hunt. Where is he? Is he in town as well? Yep, he is.
I really don't want to believe it. That comrade Robo-Girl could be keeping secrets from us.
Spend some time with Hunt. Stay.
Ah, Comrade Nat. I trust you've been practicing your push-ups.
Hi! I think I'm slowly getting there, Nyan.
That's what I like to hear.
Say, Hunt, penny for your thoughts. You seem a bit preoccupied with the bicameral room and what it's showing us, Nyan.
It's suspicious. Suspicious, I say. Surely there's another way we could get the information it's giving us. One that doesn't involve being exposed to danger.
Somehow I doubt that's possible. Something tells me I should de-escalate this conversation. Oh, I know. Hunkun, have you played any card games with the other members of the club since the meeting?
No, that would be cheating. And cheating isn't in the spirit of the revolution.
Involuntarily muscular contraction beneath the right eye?
But I don't mind playing another card game with you. Anything should be fine as long as it's not big too.
Hi, why don't we play... Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay. It's like, I don't know what that is, I'm not playing Russian roulette. Let's play Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh!
Such questionable tastes.
Nani? He's played it before?
I think I'd best be on my way. You keep working on those push-ups, okay?
Wait, what? That's the worst one? Wait, Russian roulette isn't as bad as frigging Yu-Gi-Oh! Exploding Middens. Exploding Middens. I think I saw a deck of it lying around in the lib. Oh, okay, that was the best?
But would a two-person game not be stale? We'll just end up hoarding cards.
I won't hoard if you won't either, Nyan.
You have yourself a deal. Let's go, comrade.
You play a few intense games of Exploding Mittens. A few exploded hands later...
Such vigor. If only you applied the same ethic to your push-ups.
I'm working on it, sheesh!
Before we part ways, is there anything else you need from me, comrade?
Here goes. The moment of truth.
What moment of truth?
I spoke that out loud, didn't I? Hunkun, I was wondering, do you have any spare underwear I could take?
But they couldn't possibly be your size.
Daijobu, that's not what I need them for, Hunkun.
When you put it that way, I can't help but feel more worried. But knowing it's you, I know they'll still serve some meaningful purpose. Very well, comrade. You can have my best pair.
Oh, any old pair will do, Daijobu. Within seconds you find yourselves walking out with some of the biggest briefs you've seen in your life. And it was thus that a powerful bond was forged that day. In a fire powered by the fierce heat of friendship intensified by rigorous exercise. Okay, next will be friggin' Zeke. Here we go. Where is he? Here he is.
Wow, that robot and her secrets. I wonder what else she's hiding.
Spend some time with Zeke. Stay.
Ooh, I know. Let's watch something. I'll rig up some stuff on my laptop.
What type of movie should we watch? Right. What would he want? Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series. Again, back to Yu-Gi-Oh! What's this Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged?
ZOMFG! They released a new episode!
He immediately pressed the play button. You watch in silence as the episode plays out. King of Doors, bitch! All the while Zeke bounced up and down like an overexcited child right next to you. What the heck was that?
Hey Nat, do you reckon every time Virginia sniggers, a puppy dies?
Oh, I hope not. Maybe.
Wow, is that how you're like at crime scenes? So, what time was the victim murdered? Maybe.
Looks like the conversation went excellently. Hey Zeke, while we're here, here it comes, the moment of truth.
Go ahead, Nat. Ult away.
I was just... Oh, forget it. Give me your underwear. A fresh pair, please.
Okie dokie. Would you like them signed too?
Nani? You didn't even hesitate.
Hesitation gets you killed. Besides, I'm an esports pro. And some of my fans have even weirder kinks than this.
This isn't a kink.
Sure it isn't.
I mean, it does sound like a kink. Ugh. You retreat from his room guiltily, underwear in hand, an enduring symbol of the powerful friendship that transcended the virtual world. Righto, who would be next then? I think next would be Florence comes after Zeke. Yep, Florence comes next, okay.
The identity of the traitor grows clearer by the day. I wonder if it'll merely confirm the obvious.
Spend some time with Florence. Stay.
Ah, Natalia. I was wondering when you dropped by. Shall we go somewhere we won't be disturbed?
As soon as you arrive, Florence drops a stack of papers at her feet. Is that your transcript?
Indeed it is. But before that, I have a special request to ask of you.
I don't like the sound of this. Let's hear
You
it.
are a warden, are you not? As you may be aware, wardens are rather under-researched in the realm of crime fiction, so my request is this. Can I trouble you for a roleplay?
A roleplay? But this is all so sudden.
Could it be? Could innocent old Natalia be concealing the soul of a heart?
That's not what I meant.
If that is what you say. For present purposes, here's the situation. I am a prisoner, convicted on several dozen counts of silk handkerchief theft, and 1 count of indecent exposure. This scenario takes place on the first day of my sentence. It's exercise time, so I'm in the yard, and you happen to be on duty. Shall we begin?
Okay. You perform your role play, ensuring you stayed in character to the best of your abilities.
Interesting. You didn't fit my expectations regarding the typical conduct of a warden. Not in the slightest.
Yes, I don't think you should use me to make your warden character.
Nonsense. I think you'd be perfect.
Can I see the transcript now?
Please, go right ahead.
You sit down and read the transcript. What did I just read? You're using the warden as a comic relief character.
Natalia, my dear, do learn to read between the lines.
But all I saw was...
But does good writing consist only of what floats to the surface?
Now that I think about it...
Anyway, it seems there is still quite some time before dinner. Where would you like to go next?
She will probably want to go to the cafe, right? Let's go to the cafe.
A woman of refined tastes. I wonder if Dash is on duty today.
You head to the cafe. Despite Dash not being on duty, you still feel your self-control slipping in an alarming rate with each passing sip. Looks like that went excellently. I knew that would work. After enjoying a nice chat over a cup of coffee and several cups of hot chocolate, you decide to head back to the dorms together. Now give me your pants. Okay, time for the moment of truth. Florence-chan, I was just wondering, you wouldn't happen to have a spare pair of,
What's this? You'd make a terrible thief. The last thing you should do is engage the Mark in conversation about the very item you intend to steal.
I'm not going to steal anything. That's why I'm asking.
Fascinating. I wonder if all wardens are this unpredictable. Please, pardon me for a second.
And so it was that a powerful friendship was forged that day, over a writer and a warden's shared interest in the most unpredictable of ideas. So wait, did she give me her underwear? Okay. Right, where is Dash? He's probably in here as well, right? Yep, there he is, okay.
First that business with the plays, and then the plane crash? How much stress is a barista to endure in a single day?
Dash? Sure.
Perfect, ma'am. Just the person I was looking for. I think a change of scenery is perhaps in order.
Oh, the library! We haven't been here in a bit.
Well, ma'am, may I take your order?
I should think carefully about this. Educational book. Let's read an educational book.
Oh? What does ma'am have in mind?
Let's see. History of Vision Scientists, an optometrist's guide to all major eye diseases, pupils, the instruction manual for budding lecturers in the field. Is there any that appeal to you? Dash?
Oh, it's just... I've read all of those already.
You have? This is what he does when he's not making coffee? Oh, I know. How about this? I see what you did there. Side-splitting puns for vision-informed teens. Dash? Simply ended. Okay. Right, yeah, he didn't want the puns. Alright. Manga, maybe? I don't know if it would be dirty, but let's read a manga.
Which one do you have in mind?
What about Code Grass? God damn it. That went excellently. Oh, that was what it was?
I had no idea that man possessed such refined tastes.
Code Geass is pretty good. And to be honest, I had no idea you read manga. We spent some time reading manga in the library before going back to the dorms. Alright. What's this courage that's building inside me? Is it time?
Oh? Does ma'am have a request?
Dash, can I have your underwear?
What?
A spare should be fine. Please don't give me the one you're currently wearing.
Who says I'm wearing underwear?
Nani?
Just a joke, ma'am. Not to worry. I am not so unrefined as to give a lady my used undergarments.
He's actually agreed to it.
Here you go, ma'am.
Thanks, Dashkun. I know it was a sudden request and...
Please, ma'am. Don't underestimate me. That was by no means the strangest request I've received in my illustrious career. Not even close.
I see. Well, thank you so much, Dash. Okay, that went better than expected, and it was thus that in the most unlikely of circumstances a powerful bond was forged, in a fire exchange of overly fancy undergarments. Right. I believe next is... Virginia? Yeah, Virginia's next. Let's do her. Spend some time with Virginia. Yes.
Well, look who it is. Have you come to hear about our Lord and Savior?
You spend some time listening to Virginia's spirited sermon on her Lord and Savior.
Hey, Nat, we need to talk.
It looks serious. Which means it's probably not.
Tell you what, I'll even let you pick the conversation topic.
Let's talk about... the bicameral room, why not? I feel like that'll work. Let's talk about the bicameral room.
Wow. You really know how to kill a conversation, don't you?
Oh, god damn it. Boys. Let's talk about boys.
Oh?
What's your ideal man like, Virginia-chan?
Let's see. His name would probably start with a G.
God damn it.
And end with oot. That's about it. Bonus points if his bark is worse than his bite.
Funny. Something tells me I shouldn't jump to any conclusions.
How about you?
I haven't really thought about it, to be honest.
It was Blaze, wasn't it?
What? No, it wasn't. And even if it was, you can't just come out and say that.
So it was him. I'm sorry for your loss.
I can't tell if she's being sincere or if she's really trying to push my buttons. What else is new? I don't think Blaze was the right person for me. I can't quite describe it, but I think we were a bit too alike. Plus, I'm sure the moment he got a decent look at the sort of person I really am, he would have run away as fast as his legs could carry him. I know I would.
I didn't see any running during the trial, did you?
There was plenty of running. But could she be meaning this in another way? Some time passes as you leapfrog from topic to topic. Okay, good. Alright, that worked.
Would you look at the time? My undergarments should have finished drying about a minute ago.
That was oddly specific. Well, here goes. Virginia, you wouldn't happen to have a spare, would you?
Why? Yours aren't good enough?
No, it's just...
Say no more.
Right, and it was thus in the most ordinary of circumstances a powerful bond was formed between a warden on the hunt for undergarments and a secretary who was all too willing to oblige. Okay. Right, I believe... Who comes after Virginia? I believe it's Elisa, but... It is Elisa, then Pierce, then Mona. Okay, we'll just do... Where's Elisa? She is.
Oh, Mii-Yu, I really hope you're not in over your head.
Best of time with Elisa? Stay.
Ah, Natalia. Just the girl I was looking for. I was wondering if you'd indulge in a little clothes shopping?
Clothes shopping? There's a place here that sells clothes?
Ah, sorry. That was misleading. I meant accessory searching. Surely in situations such as this, we girls must learn to improvise and adapt.
What do you have in mind?
Let's go looking for accessories, or materials we could use to create some makeshift accessories.
Some time passes as you visit various places collecting random items all the while.
Okay. What should we try to make?
Right. A hair stick? A hair stick?
All that effort? For something so plain? Come on, Nat. We can do better than this.
Sorry, Elisa. I'm just not feeling creative today.
I see. Maybe some other time then.
Okay, that was a fail. Handbag. Let's make a handbag.
Oh, sounds ambitious. I like it.
You spend some time trying to create a handbag, and fail spectacular, I knew it!
I don't know what I was expecting.
Me neither.
But at least we tried, didn't we, Nat-chan?
Hi! Wait. You mean perfume? Okay, perfume's right. Oh, I got it. How about some perfume?
Excellent idea. What should we mix together?
Let's get the fragrant materials together first. You spend some time trying to create your very own perfume.
This smells so good. Oh my gosh.
Chottomati, Elisa-chan! You're going to use it all if you keep spraying like that.
Ah!
She stopped abruptly, the perfume container tumbling awkwardly from her hand.
Sorry, I got a bit carried away, didn't I?
Can't say I blame her. I'd have done the same if I was in her position. Yeah, there you go. Do you remember the materials we used to make this, Elisa-chan? We should probably write it down somewhere, Nyan.
Agreed. And how shall I report on it? Essence of nature. New homemade perfume takes the streets by storm. Or how about...
Actually, I was wondering if we could just keep it between us. It could be our own special recipe.
Nat! You're correct, of course. Some things are better kept away from prying eyes. I'm glad you decided to spend your time with me.
Likewise, Elisa-chan. Okay, time for the moment of truth. Elisa-chan, I was just wondering, you don't happen to have a spare pair of undergarments, would you?
Natalia, you naughty girl.
It's not what you think!
Don't worry, honey. Your secret's safe with me. Now, for the finishing touch.
She hands you a fragrant pair of undergarments, and in doing so, an unbreakable bond was forged, one that would transcend the realm of journalism to become so much more. Right. Next is Pierce. Let's just do him quickly.
This doesn't make sense. This really doesn't make sense.
Spend some time with Pierce today, sure.
Are you sure you're not all mistaken? I mean, just look at today's bicameral room. Could a robot really produce something like that?
He's still hung up on that? Pierce, I don't know how to break it to you, but Mii-Yu is definitely a robot.
And you're absolutely certain of this?
Positive.
Absolutely positively?
Yes.
Super duper absolutely positively?
Yes!
Super duper
Mii-Yu's a robot, okay? Just ask everyone else here.
I see. Well, not every test is without its flaws. Even if she did get a perfect score.
She got a what?
Nothing. More importantly, how goes our contract?
You'll find out soon enough. Besides, it's not legally binding contract. It never was.
Oh, on what grounds?
First of all, there's no consideration. I'm getting nothing out of this.
You're getting people's panties.
To give to you! And second of all, I never intended to form a contract with you.
You know an awful lot about contracts, don't you?
I'm in law enforcement, Pierce. I know the basis of every legal discipline. Uh-oh, he smells blood. Only the basics. So I don't think I can help you out with anything major.
But you went to law school?
It wasn't law school per se, just a special class I had going for members of the law enforcement family and its branches.
Okay, but bottom line, you studied law?
This is kind of freaking me out. I was never good with all the readings though. I basically flew through it by the seat of my pants. I'll never forget the wave of relief that washed over me when it was all over. You feel something being pressed into your hands. This is...
It's yours.
Is that his undergarments? Do nothing.
So you're, Actually, I changed my mind. I'm not a fan of this current meta!
This is his own room. What? What happened? Alright, examine it carefully. You examine it carefully. Chottomate, this isn't...
Congratulations! You just passed your final test.
Seems that went excellently.
Here's your reward. But make the most of your time. I'll collect it back tomorrow.
Thanks, Pierce.
Just speaking off the record, I think it's wonderful to see you running around talking to people again. I definitely miss this side of you.
Pierce? And it was thus that your friendship was sealed in stone, the same way this whole ordeal began, with a relatively unassuming warden and a lawyer with underwear on his mind. Okay, and Pierce, right. Who's next? Mii-Yu and Mona, I think, are the next two. Let's do... yeah, it's Mii-Yu, Mona, and Grace left. Let's do Mona. It's daytime though, so she's gonna be grumpy.
You're not one of them, are you?
Spend some time with Mona today. It's gonna be grumpy Mona.
Let's just get this over with. What would someone like you want with me?
You seem to be a thoughtful person, Mona. So I was wondering, what do you make of this whole business with the bicameral room?
I've been thinking over a few hypotheticals. Some what-if situations, if you will.
Mona's interested in hypotheticals? Hypotheticals? Please elaborate.
Say, what if the plane was hijacked for ransom instead of being blown up, and the terrorist wanted money? What would you do then? Would you negotiate with the terrorist?
If it were up to me, I'm not too sure actually. The Justice Department's stance is certainly clear. We can't afford to negotiate because if we do, it may encourage future terrorist activity.
And what are the victims?
That's why I'm unsure. Should we really just throw away all those lives to make a point to the terrorists? Would that make us any better? What's with the reaction? Was there a reason for that particular hypothetical, Mona?
No reason. Can you follow me somewhere, Natalia?
Sure. You go with her to the lake.
Ever since this place opened up, I come here sometimes. To think.
The view really is beautiful from here. I feel like it's just sit quietly and watch. You sit quietly and watch. Time passes by, you surrender yourself to your thoughts. Seems that went well. Oh wait, what? Okay, that wasn't the best thing. Let's make slingshots. Let's make slingshots!
Huh? Do you know how to make one?
I could try.
You really are an idiot.
Yeah, okay, good. I knew that would be it. You spent some time fashioning together some makeshift slingshots. I say that I knew that would be it, but I clearly didn't because I got the first one wrong. The air soon fills with your screams and protests as you proceed to get bombarded with pebbles. Ow! No, what? Hey, no fair!
Did you think I would hold back? I'm a weapons master, not a child caregiver.
Well, two can play at that game.
Ugh.
Oh, Jesus.
Come back here.
More time passes, you engage in some harmless fun before heading back. Okay, here goes. The moment of truth. Hey Mona-chan, I was just wondering, would you happen to have any spare, You make a series of wild gestures to illustrate your point. Wordlessly, she walked to the drawer and returned, holding a pair in her hands. Thank you, Mona. I didn't expect her to agree so easily.
This was a one-off. Don't think that you can come to me with similarly idiotic requests in the future.
Understood. Thanks again, Mona-chan. Aw, I do like Mona a lot. She's cool. And Weapons Master didn't quite understand the concept of moderation. Alright. Now... Okay. I know I'm gonna do Mii-Yu last, I think. So Grace, I think, is like the only person left other than Mii-Yu herself.
Even after seeing Mii-Yu's version of the bicameral room. No. I refuse to believe she was involved in causing that incident.
Spend some time with Grace. Sure.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Tell you what. Why don't we go visit the lakeside? Let her hair down a little.
You walk with Grace to the lakeside. What should we do while we're here? Let's go fishing. Let's go swimming. Let's go back. Let's go swimming. I just want to see. Let's go swimming.
Ah, I knew I forgot something. I left my swimsuit back at the door.
Daijobu. Look, this part's ankle deep. Let's just take a quick dip.
Ever the improviser, are we?
Looks like that went excellent. Oh, nice! First try!
Yeah. Do you think I'll ruin my dress if I lie down?
Hi. Probably not worth the risk, Grace-chan.
But if you think about it, ice is basically water, isn't it? You can skate on ice, lie down on it.
This is different. You can't skate on water unless you're an insect. Or Jesus.
I apologize. I don't know why I'm even pestering you with these pointless questions. I mean, the dress is already waterproof. It's in case I ever fall over while skating.
Waterproof, you say? Splash!
Hey! Did you just splash me? That's it. You can play at this game.
Splash! Hey, that was way more water than I just splashed you with! And unlike her, my clothing isn't... Gosh, Grace, you're such a child.
Me? A child? You're one to talk, seeing as you started it.
You spend a bit of time messing around in the water before heading back to the dorms. Okay, here goes. Oh, Grace, before I forget, do you have some spare undergarments?
Do you not have spares? I'm only pulling your leg. Of course you can have a pair. Let's see. There's shock-resistant brands, fireproof brands.
You end up going through Grace's drawers together in search of the perfect pair. And in doing so, a mighty friendship was forged from the pristine and all-too-deep waters of the lakeside. Okay, cool. First try. And then last, but certainly not least, the one and only Robo Girl.
I'd seriously believed we had left the taint of that incident behind us. It appears I was very much mistaken.
Spend some time with Mii-Yu? Sure, of course.
Ah, Natalia.
Always.
I'm glad you're here. Please, follow me. I'm sorry to have brought you back here. I simply wish to test if the quality of discussion will improve by proximity.
Back here then. Daijoubu, Mii-Yu-chan. You don't have to explain yourself.
Thank you. Do you think I was on that plane, Natalia, when it went down?
I don't think I can offer you anything conclusive, Mii-Yu.
Ah, but could you not use your special brand of detective's logic?
Detective logic? You must be talking about my brother, Nyan. I'm just a warden.
You're so much more than that. I'm sorry, that was a bit too direct.
What do you mean by so much more, Mii-Yu?
On the second day of our captivity, what you said about not losing heart, of trusting in our ability to make a better future
On the second day of our
together.
captivity, what you said about not losing heart and accepting our reality for what it is, of trusting in our ability to make a better future together.
Did you really mean it? Do you stand by those words? Even now?
You actually remember that? Of course I stand by those words, but that doesn't mean I don't think it will be difficult. I'm not one to ignore reality either.
Something happen to you, Natalia, before all of this? I don't know what came over me. I simply asked without thinking.
I think we should talk about that. Not yet.
Very well. What shall we do now?
Right. I don't really know. What? Let's leave? Let's leave.
Affirmative.
Unsurprisingly, you proceed to leave. Ended well? Okay, no, that wasn't it. Let's go for a run. I don't think she'll want to go inside. Time to go for some training yard exercises.
Pardon?
Let's go for a run, inmate. Yes, you heard correctly.
Affirmative. I will not let you down.
We spent some time running around before heading back to the dorms. Except when assuring her, yes, she wouldn't have wanted to go inside. Wait, how am I supposed to claim her undergarments? She's a robot!
Error. Conflicting goals.
What's wrong,
I
Mii-Yu?
just remembered. I've forgotten to change my... It's been days now. I've wanted to do it a few times now. But Mona's nighttime persona can be a bit lively.
Could it be?
But since I invited you to my room, it would be rude of me to ask you to leave. Strange, isn't it? I only left it until today because that was the outcome encouraged by my intuition drive. Perhaps it was wrong.
Actually, Mii-Yu, I have a favor to ask of you. Please, give it to me. The old one.
Scanning. What? But Natalia, that would violate virtually every human norm I can think of.
Forget about norms. Just give it to me.
Very well. I'll erase the last minute from my memory bank as soon as you leave. That should retain enough residual information for me to remember that I changed it.
And so as Mii-Yu began her memory erasure, you walk out of her room with something you previously never knew existed. A powerful symbol of the bond that had been formed between Warden and Machine. Oh, okay, we're done. Thank God. Alright. So I reckon next time will probably be the Love Hotel scenes. There's just a lot of kerfuffle we've got to get out of the way. But, I don't really know how to end this. This was hilarious. This was an amazing episode. So, thank you for watching. I will see you all in the next video. So long, and bear well. Whew.
I see it!